Welcome. I'm Peter Parsons, your town supervisor, and I'm here to show you around our new town offices on Boughton Road. In particular, what we've put here is our police department, our courts, our land use offices. And I'm going to quickly show you around, introduce you to the people who run them, and get them to tell you quickly what they can do for you. Thank you. Here we are in the new police station at Boughton. I'd like Charlie to tell you how it's working. My chief of police, Charlie.
Peter, first of all, thank you. The new facilities are fantastic. And the old way underneath the Chicos in Cross River, we were very cramped. We didn't have enough space for lockers, and all the equipment was not positioned right for the men's use. So over here we have a bigger workstation for the men, computers, communication ports, phones, and copying machines. Over here, to my right over here, we have the processing table. We have a fingerprint table, fingerprint card reader, and all the equipment that we need to process arrest. Over here to our your left is our famous lockup table. If you happen to be arrested in Lewisboro, we don't have a formal lockup cell, but we do have a bench that we can secure prisoners with. We have mailboxes for the men for communications. We have storage facilities that we never had before. We have offices that we can now close for private conversations or interviews to my left over here. Let's walk down to the offices right now.
This office here reflects our reorganized police department, where we have an active sergeant who has an office. Charlie, tell me about how you've managed to reorganize with yourself and Sergeant Dave Alfano.
Sure. Right now we're in Sergeant Alfano's office. Again, we have his workstation, a computer for him, all the necessity equipment. We have evidence lockers and evidence safes in this office. By law, we're supposed to secure weapons and critical evidence, and this meets the DCJS requirements for security. We'll go to the chief's office next. Okay, now we're in the chief's office. This is my office. I have all my paperwork, my workstation, all the records of the department that we have to legally keep and secure are all in this office. If I have to conduct interviews or private conversations, this is a facility that we would use right in here. I'd like to just explain something to the town supervisor. What he is holding here is a tribal African sword. We have a unique member of the department who is in the U.S. Army Special Forces, and one of his deployments was in Africa. And a tribal warrior custom made this for him, gave it to him as a gift, which he in turn gave to the department as a memento.
And I think it's a great improvement from the snake which the previous police chief kept in his office. Anyway, the most important thing in my mind, the building is nice, but Charlie is putting together a force which works as a team, and they have a great picture, and here it is, of them as a group, and they are working as one united group, and that is a huge achievement in a mixed part-time, full-time police department.
One of the improvements the bigger space has afforded us is a full kitchen here, a refrigerator, microwave, sink, coffee maker for the men, as well as a lunch table where they can sit down and have their lunch. And when they're having lunch, if they even have lunch, they're always on duty to answer calls via radio. Over here is our locker room. We have the luxury of the extra space. We have 2 locker rooms now, one for the male officers and one in the back for the female officers, which we never had before. So that's another big improvement with this extra space.
I am with Judge Susan Simon and Judge Mark Seedorf in the new courtroom, and quite honestly, I think it is a huge step forward from any courtroom I've seen in this town. And, it granted the number of people that they process, this really works well. Why don't you tell us what you think of it?
I think it's a major improvement. We started out in the townhouse. It was always very cramped. There was no place to conference cases with attorneys. There was no place to put the prisoners when they were brought to court. Then we moved to the basement of the Chicos, and need I say more? So?
Well, one of the advantages of this facility that we have now is it's much larger. And so we have more room for everything from people waiting online to pay their tickets, to having a place, as Judge Seedorf said, for prisoners to come in not coming through the courtroom, which was the case in the original court in the townhouse and was a security issue. And because of the space we have and the way it's laid out, we have a lot more in terms of security and comfort for the people that are coming.
And if you do look around the courtroom, you look at this magnificent bench that was built by Joel Smith in the maintenance department. All this was paid for with state grants that the court was able to get from New York State. The chairs in the audience, the tables, everything has been paid for with grant money. The town seal, the 2 flags, everything's been paid for grant money. We have chambers which is right next door, which is also a vast improvement. The furniture in there, again, has all been paid with state grant money.
And we continue to put in for grants because it's not complete yet. We still have some construction work to do, and we need some additional furniture. Our metal detector was also provided to us for the state. So I think we've made judicious use of the grants that are available from New York State to enhance our facilities over the years.
I'd like to add one thing. Our maintenance department painted this room. And when they saw the height to which they were going to have to climb, they were initially concerned. But they did it. They painted right up to the ceiling, and they did it well, and the town did it extraordinarily cheaply with our own labor.
Okay, this is, as I mentioned before, this is a wonderful addition. This is actually the judge's chambers where we can conference matters before court with the attorneys, the defense attorney, the DA, and on the civil night, if there's a civil trial, again, we can use this room to conference the matters instead of in the townhouse. I used to conference matters in the nice weather outside. We used to walk outside and do it. And then if you had inmates, they would have to be in the clerk's office. So again, this is a wonderful addition.
And what it does is having conferences and a nice facility and some more space helps us to make the court itself, when all the people are in front of us, more efficient, because we can resolve some of the matters and occasionally be a little bit creative in chambers.
This is Samantha Inkledon, and this is Robin Harris. There are 2 court clerks, and this is their new office, and this is where almost all the work of the court is done. They are really first-class workers. Robin,
Thank you.
Tell me how this is working.
We love it here. We were before in the townhouse in a very small office. Then we moved to the basement under the Chicos, where it was bigger, but there were no windows, and it was not originally set up for the court, so it was a little bit awkward. And now that we're in this new facility, we just love it. We have a big office where all of our files fit in our room, which we've never had before, which is wonderful. And we have a file room that is being set up for all our previous files, and this allows easy access for when the defendants come in needing stuff, or if an attorney needs anything. It's easy for us to get, as opposed to going into the attic in the main office over at the townhouse. And the best part of it, we think, is that we have windows. So we actually can see sunshine and get fresh air, which is just a wonderful way to work, knowing that, you know, we have access to seeing the outside, and it just makes it a more enjoyable environment. So it's really great. Sam?
Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, and the space that we have in the classroom here makes it more efficient for us to be able to do everything that we need to do. And of course, since myself, Robin, and many of our town colleagues have had children in the district, we're just really glad to be here. So.
I'd like you to meet Kirsten Conrad. She is our planning board secretary and our ACOC secretary. So so if you are trying to do something to your property, the odds are you are going to meet Kirsten, and my suggestion is that you are very, very nice to her. That's easy because she is a super easy lady to be nice to. How do you like working here?
I love the new building. I have lots of windows and a courtyard to look out at. And all my files are in one room, so it's easy to do research when residents come in.
And I guess that's important.
It is.
And this is one of the advantages here is we have got, in one line, we have got all what I call the land use offices, whether it's planning, whether it's the assessor, whether it's ACOC, whether it's the ZBA, or whether it's building. And we are going, we started here, but we're going to go through each of those offices fairly quickly to show you how they fit in here and the advantage of them linking together. This is the building department. And I'm standing here with Laurie Wigan, who's managing the desk. The building inspectors are out doing, I guess, what they're supposed to be doing, which is doing inspections. This is where the process often begins and where it tends to end. The process begins when you come in here and ask for a building permit, and you are told what committees you have to go and see and get approval from. And then at the very end of the process, this is the place where you come to get your certificate of occupancy to show that everything has been done correctly. It is a very important office, and it's one which is vital to the whole building and change of building process in town. They're good people. And if you're doing something on your house, they are excellent people to get to know. This is Lise Robertson. She's the town assessor. She works here with Donna Auburn, and the two of them are responsible for ensuring that your assessment on your house, the valuation of your house by the town, is the correct one. Lise, what do you think of this place?
We love being over here in the school now. We've more room. We're centrally located in the middle of town. We're close to the townhouse. It's worked out very nicely for us here. We're very happy here.
This is a very important office. When you, if you feel that your house is unfairly valued, this is the lady you come to see. And she will talk to you about it and suggest ways you might go about reducing it, and also tell you that you're half crazy because your house is fairly valued already. And or when you in fact have been through the other offices in this building successfully and have added an extra 2,000 square feet to your house, this is the lady who will tell you that, unfortunately, if you've got the money and the wherewithal to make that addition, you also had better have the money and the wherewithal to pay some extra taxes. That said, I cannot think of a more charming lady to deliver that information. I hope you enjoyed our tour and were impressed by our new office space. There are a couple of other reasons you might be impressed by it. First of all, the rent is lower than the rent we were paying in Cross River. And secondly, the recipient of that rent is everybody who lives in the school district. And that includes, I suspect, almost all of you, because that rent goes straight towards your school taxes. Finally, and possibly the most important for many of us, is that I have got a far happier staff, because people are happy and smile when they've got daylight coming in through windows instead of are in, quite honestly, a basement apartment, which we were over in Cross River. Thank you, have a great day, and enjoy yourselves.
You're watching Lewisboro Community Television, Channel 20.